All right, episode 5. So training for Sunfest takes place and we get given some super specific details about the requirements for marching in formation. Things like how each step has to be 62.5 centimeters exactly, and how wrong steps are more noticeable than playing wrong notes, which I thought was interesting. Also, these are all just things I find hard to conceptualize because I've never had to do it before with my violin. So a lot of respect there for the specificities of marching. Next is a very cool fact from my mate The Sledge, who wrote in to say that the light novel author of Hibike based Rika, so the Blue Devils School, on an actual high school band in Kyoto called Kyoto Tachibana High School. Except instead of being the Blue Devils, they are actually known as the Orange Devils and have a huge fan base and apparently quite the reputation for their dancing and their marching skills. So we're going to watch one of their performances that The Sledge recommended, and I myself have not really seen a proper marching band competition before. They are definitely not as common here in Australia as it is in Japan and like the US. So we're watching a performance from 2016 of the song Sing Sing Sing, which apparently made it into their repertoire because someone in the band saw a dance troupe from Australia perform it, a troupe called Burn the Floor, and then the rest is history. So it's just, I found it quite funny, just like the weird connections there that led to this performance. So we'll watch it now and we'll see. All right, here we go. Yo, yeah, I can see the orange devil bit. Oh, the sync, man, but oh my god, that's like Zapma. Oh, this is tight. I mean, musically, I don't even know how they're playing such tight, like, rhythms and melodies while they're like waving and doing these freaking insane dance moves. Using their voices as instruments as well. How are these other schools that are watching them not like just bobbing in their seats? They're just like not moving at all. How? There must be some kind of etiquette thing, like you're not meant to clap or like. Yo, drama trick killing this. Oh my god. Hey! Dude, that was incredible! Oh, now they're allowed to collab like politely? Oh, is there... Anyway, thank you, The Sledge. I feel like my life has been just completely pushed to a whole higher level now that I've witnessed that people can actually do this in real life. And like a high school band, no less. That's freaking insane. Okay, this next section is check my notes. Yeah, it's another heavily coded Kumiko and Reina scene. And I don't think it's a scene. I think this is the scene. Because I have this sneaking suspicion that we have already reached like peak Kumena or whatever their ship name is. And after that, there will be no more gay scenes between these two. And it'll be like, what? There was ever anything between these two? You were just imagining things. So let's just enjoy reliving this budget smile scene while we can, even though, and as they're walking home together, well, not quite together because Reina is like at first always a few steps ahead of Kumiko, who, by the way, is freaking out over what she can or can't talk about. But the can of worms gets opened anyway when, completely out of the blue, Reina brings up the topic of Taki-sensei herself. And it's awkward, like not just in the scene, but on a meta level as well. So in the scene, it's awkward because Kumiko gets word vomit and stumbles over how to express that a lot of people think that Taki sensei is good looking. But as soon as Reina gives her murder face for saying that, it's immediately, oh, but not me. I don't think that. I just think he's good at encouraging people. So to me, that's even more awkward on a meta level, because it's clear now, even though I wanted to stay in denial about it, that the show is setting up Reina to have a borderline, potentially romantic obsession with Taki, an adult teacher. And that can happen. Like, I don't find it a particularly riveting storyline, but I get that teacher crushes are a thing. What I don't get is why they're setting that up in the midst of all these elaborate, intimate, lengthy interactions between Kumiko and Reina. I'm 99% sure that Reina's obsession with Taki will be totally one-sided. If the 1% happens and Taki somehow reciprocates, or they do the whole 10 years later, Reina and Taki start dating, I will, like, very reasonably and calmly throw something across the room and break it. But, like, assuming the one-sided crush / obsession plays out, it's still quite jarring, and I don't think I'm liking it a whole lot, because the way they're playing up the Kumiko and Reina stuff simultaneously makes it come off as if there's a weird love triangle being teased out between two high school girls and an adult teacher, even though it's all happening in either one or both of the girls' heads. And of course, everything so far is just in subtext. Like, from a writing perspective, KyoAni could keep absolutely everything just in subtext and therefore retain deniable plausibility. Scene change. Sorry, guys. Where were we? Yes, speaking of subtext, you can't get any more subtexty than a perfectly lit, dramatic, romantically scored budget smile. I also liked that this scene resolved a long-running tension, one that was more in Kumiko's head than anything, of Kumiko being scared to bring up anything related to the past and their failure to get to nationals in middle school. With that one smile, Reina let Kumiko know that she doesn't hold any grudges against her and that she can release that pressure that she's felt for years now at this point of having said something to really hurt Reina back then. My favorite thing about the budget smile, though, was the aftermath and Kumiko's reflections on what the hell just happened. I quote, "Her smile was as mysterious as the mystery steps, but for some reason, it made me a little happy." This is Kumiko speaking, the person who rarely feels any need to be particularly happy or sad over anything. Her saying that there's finally someone or something that makes her feel the stirrings of actual strong emotion, that is a huge, significant development. And the fact that this turn was brought on by a smile from Reina means we can also chalk up another one for Teen Gay. All right, on to episode 6. Hopefully this one doesn't go by so quickly, but I'm assuming it will. It's just so good, the show. Okay, if you guys are ready, let's do this in 3, 2, 1, play. Sapphire is so small. She's really cute. Can't even see her above Taki's shoulder. Her face is so expressive, especially whenever she's around Reina. I don't know if it can get any more awkward between these two, Reina and Kumiko. And Reina's face is just like a stone, except for, you know, when she's talking about Taki. Something else that's gonna cause a lot of tension. I think they all kind of assumed. Maybe it's like a senior system. Just a whole bunch of sapphires come in from Seedor. Oh my god. Nice. Yeah, she's like, you can't rest on your laurels. Oh, that's hard. Boom. Oh my gosh, this is so much harder than the Marines hymn. I can't wait to hear the whole thing. Ah, it's trying out the solo, of course. Oh man, I bet everyone thinks Kaori is gonna get it. Yeah, but Reina's gonna be better. Among the senpais, note. It's really hard to explain in words. Yes, it's a good thing. It's like pleasure and pain.
チューバのいいところっていうのはな、いいところがないところだ。先輩、いいところがないのに一生懸命頑張る。ひたすらに頑張る。そこがいいんだよ。いや、それがいいんだよ。
Oh my god, I love these two. The pain parents. You've got to be born into it. She totally just translated for Goto. That was amazing. Sight reading. Yeah, the learning curve, man. Can't be too easy, but it can't be too hard either. It's a tricky balance. That was such a scary... Nani? Of course, Asuka has toned abs. What does she have to do? No! It's just a bigger version of her keychain. Oh my god, no. Those subs again. And also, it's for her sadistic nature. Oh god. Oh my god, don't post that. And especially when there's other people around you who are already more accomplished than you. She can though. Did they compose a piece around the practice one that Asuka gave her? Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Yeah. That's great.
なんだろう、すごく音楽だった。
Does make a huge difference.
そっか、こういうことか。やっぱいいね、チューバ。めっちゃ楽しい。
She just needed that, just that experience. Okay, definitely they're trying to set up something with these two.
いいな、久美子ちゃんは。オーディション、頑張りなよ。え、次の曲が始まるのです。
No, don't you dare end. Oh my god. Lucky you, Kumiko. Does Aoi... I forget. Aoi plays the trumpet? I think? It doesn't seem like whatever she plays, I don't think she feels confident at all that she'll get a part in the auditions. Either that or she's still feeling just so iffy about the whole trying for nationals thing. And she's envious of Kumiko being able to just so wholesomely and pure-heartedly go for something. I mean, there's no ill will in Aoi, but just she can't get on board with trying. But yeah, fantastic episode on and focus on Hazuki and the bass section just banding around her to help her, one, to get better technically. And, you know, you had Asuka giving her the practice piece, you had Goto and Riko giving her solid tips on how to look after a tuba. And then you've got Kumiko and Sapphire, you know, purposefully playing that really simple, easy piece, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and just having that nice moment where Hazuki can feel part of a band, and there's just something magical that clicks into place when all these instruments put their parts together. I loved it. The relationship between Hazuki and Asuka is a sight to behold. It's basically a tiger mom with her wayward daughter who occasionally forgets her place sometimes and needs to be put in a headlock every now and then to be reminded that her base mom is the queen. In general, I'm just loving the camaraderie of the entire bass section. Asuka is smashing her job as the bass section leader. She rules with an equal amount of respect and fear and benevolence, as shown by how kind she was to mark all of the fingerings for Hazuki on the music, and also recognizing that, you know, it's critical that Hazuki also feels the motivation of doing well, taking steps to ensure that her baby tuba player doesn't feel left behind and just drowning in a sea of boredom because she has to keep practicing all those basics. I mean, you really do have to be careful with complete beginners and just keep an eye on the steepness of the learning curve. From the perspective of a music teacher, teaching absolute beginners is both incredibly rewarding and also very challenging. You know, just watching them take to music and the instrument with fresh eyes, and almost always initially this like burst of energy, but it's also more challenging in some ways than teaching a more experienced player, because it requires some delicate handling in terms of how much you push them to improve, but also making sure that they're getting enough self-confidence and fun from being able to master all of these new techniques. Seeing the band perform so coherently together at Sunfest and playing a piece that is more complex than what we heard them play in their ensemble in front of Taki was very satisfying. Even being willing to stay an extra half hour to practice their marching without Taki having requested it they have come already like a really long way. A few of them, though, still holding it against Taki for being such a tough ass, but slowly you can see that they're getting more and more invested in their own progression as musicians. And that actually is, for someone who's been through the whole rigmarole, is really cool to see. So yeah, like basically whatever it takes to ignite that fire, right? Even if it's hate for Taki or just being around other schools that are more prestigious, that also adds fuel to the fire. As does the general prefecture's lack of recognition for their band, but that has definitely changed after their performance at Sunfest. So the little snippet we heard of the prefecture competition piece, that sounds incredibly difficult and just also on another level altogether. So I'm sure we have a couple of episodes where the drama is around practicing and perfecting that piece. Also, especially now that Taki has done away with the seniority system and is making everyone audition legitimately for their parts, to the dismay of a lot of the third years. So there's no coasting anymore for real, and it's going to be interesting and very entertaining, I think, picking apart the auditions and seeing how the players differentiate themselves from each other. I hate to say it, guys, but that is it for today's reaction. Thank you so much for watching along with me. I am insanely crazy about Hibike and the drama that it's serving up and all of the pairings that we're getting, which is super interesting for me. So definitely looking forward to all of your comments and discussing further with you what the hell happened in these episodes. So yeah, I hope you have a lovely weekend. Do take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.